Joining me is MD and CEO of National Stock Exchange, Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan. Sir, welcome to Delhi. Thank you for speaking with us on India Today Group. At your speech this morning on the capital markets framework, you did talk a lot about economy and how IMF is also projecting India's economy to be one of the fastest growing and better. In these global and geopolitical changes taking forward, how do you see markets panning out, especially for India?
In a way, the world is going through some serious changes in the way it was structured earlier in terms of trade, in terms of tariffs, in terms of even geopolitics, and that's going to affect the geoeconomics also. I mean, all the countries are connected to each other in some ways. So that's where India is not alone, and India will have to find its own feet in the newly emerging or new emerging situations. And in last 30, 40, even 70 years, India was not part of the trade blocks or even in a significant way in merchandise goods exports or imports, except that we have been importing a lot of oil, electronics and gold. But overall, we were not part of that ecosystem in some ways. Today, India's exports, especially in high-tech electronics, is being well recognized, using Apple and Samsung phones being exported in some ways. And we are becoming part of the world's supply chain, which is supposed to be very complex, and India has been able to break through. And that's where I think in a newly emerging geopolitics and geoeconomics, where people want to stay away from China, I think India is emerging as a good bet for many, many people. And of course, India's own internal demands because of the youthful population and a very high-tech population. It's going to also attract many companies which are searching for growth markets for their own products. And that's where I think India is becoming an important part of the world scheme of things.
But I think it's the volatility of markets that challenges an individual investor, and also the FIIs being net sellers. Does that bother you, or do you think that is a long-term challenge to tackle?
It's actually short-term issues because of the way the US interest rates have been strengthening pre their elections, that is September onwards. And that's where emerging markets money was going out into US back. But April onwards, actually, it's the moving away from US is happening. And so April onwards, you would have seen the FPIs investing in droves into not only India, but Japan and many other markets. And so it's a more volatility being induced out of the budget deficits which US is expected to create for itself, and that's where in a way people are thinking that US will continue to have a little more inflation than what was originally expected, and of course their interest rates will continue to remain, but the growth is now moving back to India, and that's where a lot of money is now coming back to India.
You see the FIIs coming back. So what is the update on NSE IPO? It's been quite in the fray for some time.
No, it is basically our, we being frontline regulators, we need to take the no objection certificate from the regulator before we file our DRHP. So we have applied to the regulator for giving us the no objection certificate. Once that comes, we'll be able to prepare our DRHP and then file again as a company desirous of listing its own shares.
Do you have a timeline in mind?
No, in certain cases, we have to basically wait for the decisions of the regulators.
Okay. SEBI chairperson just also said that the expiry date circular is in the coming. Is there any information or update that you have on this?
No, I was not aware. Only you guys are asking me question. I was not in when you asked him that question. So broadly, I have no idea of when that is coming. But whatever are their decisions, we'll have to work with that.
Thank you very much, sir.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe. If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.